Aw, shit. Okay. After Sonic 3 and Knuckles got released, Sonic Team put SEGA Technical Institute in charge of making a new Sonic game. This time, however, Sonic Team was going to make this the first full-fledged 3D Sonic game. It went under the title Sonic X-treme, and it was going to be developed for their upcoming system, the Sega Saturn. Originally, Sonic X-treme was going to be a launch title for the Saturn, but the game went through a lot of hiccups during development and suffered several delays despite showing lots of footage of the game at several gaming conventions including E3. With the game being stuck in development hell, Sega decided to hire Traveler's Tales to help Sonic Team make a quick Sonic game to accompany fans who were waiting for Sonic X-treme to get released. You may recognize Traveler's Tales for making all the recent LEGO games, and they also made 2 Crash Bandicoot games after Naughty Dog got rid of the license. The Sega Saturn got launched in early 1996, but because of Sonic X-treme's shattered development, the game got delayed by another year before it was eventually cancelled. So Sonic Team and Traveler's Tales got their game out a couple months after the Saturn got released worldwide, and it was Sonic 3D Blast. Oh boy. Sonic 3D Blast. I guess for shits and giggles they decided to make a Genesis version for this game because why not? This was the company that thought the 32X was a good idea. I'm also going to be reviewing the Genesis version of this game because it's the only version of the game that I own, and I'm not shelling out the money to get a Sega Saturn just to play the Saturn port. So let's start the game. Okay, the save feature from Sonic 3 is gone. Good sign. It's always a good sign. Sonic is the only playable character. Another good sign. Don't you love it when a future entry in a game series gets rid of a completely cool feature from the last game? The plot of Sonic 3D Blast involves Eggman trying to take over the world again, and Sonic of course needs to stop him. This time, however, the animals in this game are called Flickies, and the game takes place on their island with Sonic trying to help them restore it and get rid of Eggman. Alright, let's play this game. Oh god. Oh god. Just look at this. Was this impressive in 1996? Like, really, were these graphics amazing to see at the time? Sonic 3 and Knuckles look more appealing than this. I'll applaud them for trying to use up the Genesis's capabilities, but good god, less is more. I mean, it does look colorful and wait, it's all coming back to me. Just staring at Green Grove is making me remember something from long ago. When I was little, I would always use my dad's computer to search up games for me to play. This is how I ended up getting a lot of viruses on his computer. It's also how I discovered porn. Anyways, I remember coming across this very weird website that I think was an emulator site like viz.com, and I downloaded a game off there, and I remember it looking an awful lot like this level in Sonic 3D Blast. Actually, it's almost identical. Oh my god, was Sonic 3D Blast my first Sonic game? Ew! This game isn't god-awful or anything, but it's really not that good. The main objective isn't to clear the stage by running past a signpost at the end of the level. Instead, you have to go around smashing badniks and collecting one of the 5 Flickies that are inside of them. Then you deposit the Flickies in a giant ring that'll eventually take you to the end of the level. And you do this in every fucking level. That's all you do. You just run around collecting birds. That's all you're doing! I mean, I like the level of exploration, but Sonic runs pretty slow in this game. I'm sure this had to be done so Sonic wouldn't be that difficult to control, which Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are gonna laugh at, but I honestly can't imagine playing this game with a D-pad. Even if you control Sonic using a joystick, the controls are still not that great. And the platforming, I hate the platforming in this game, and it's all because of these wonky controls and the bird's eye perspective this game is permanently stuck in. I guess aside from collecting birds, the other thing you could do is emerald hunting. In hidden parts of the levels aren't special rings, but instead either Tails or Knuckles. So they made sprites for these two, but they're still not playable. Great. If you have 50 rings or more and walk by them, they'll take all your rings and teleport you to a special stage. They don't take 50, they take all your rings. Okay, that's totally fucking fair. What do I mean by this? Well, let's say you have 65 rings. If you walk past Tails or Knuckles, they won't just take 50 rings and leave you with 15, they take all 65! Why is this such a bad thing? Well, alright, I got a Chaos Emerald. Tight. Now let's get back to the game. What the fuck? In these special stages, Sonic runs forward and jumps over spikes and hills while collecting a specific number of rings. It's so easy that it's boring. After you collect all the Chaos Emeralds, you get access to the final boss, but there's not even a Super Sonic reward. In fact, Super Sonic appears nowhere in this game. Being honest, I probably wouldn't be that happy to play as him with these crappy controls. The usual item boxes are back. There's the 10 rings, the extra life, the speed shoes, the invincibility, and the fire shield. Oh yeah, they also brought back the standard blue shield. The fire shield still protects you from fire elements, but it doesn't give Sonic his air dash, which kinda sucks. The electric shield and the bubble shield are nowhere to be seen, but there is a new shield power-up called the homing shield, which lets Sonic home into any nearby enemies. They couldn't give us a fire dash, but they gave us a homing attack? What sense does that make? I guess while I'm on the topic of the homing attack, I really don't mind it. A lot of classic Sonic fans hate it, but I think it fits pretty well with Sonic when he's in the 3D games. Though I will admit, a lot of the ideas that fans like Shaymay or Nick have come up with to improve the homing attack would be pretty interesting to see. But as of right now, I think the homing attack is great like it already is. But I only think it should be a default move in the 3D games only. It seems incredibly pointless to have it in the 2D games because Sonic is already perfectly capable of killing enemies without it. Sonic 4 anyone? Fuck Sonic 4. If a 2D Sonic game is gonna have a homing attack, I think it should do what Sonic 3D Blast did where it's just a power shield. That way you won't be permanently stuck with it for the rest of the game. But that's actually the exact opposite with 3D Blast. This game is clearly trying to be a 3D Sonic game, so I think the homing attack should have been part of Sonic's natural moveset, not a power-up. It definitely would have made the gameplay much easier because I cannot jump on an enemy without getting hit, so I have to awkwardly roll around to kill them. Okay, who thought this would be fun? Okay, look, I'm gonna drop the ball pretty early in this review, but this game is really boring, and there's nothing for me to really talk about. Is there anything about this game that I like? Well, yeah, and it's a really good part of the game, which is the music. The Genesis port of this game was composed by Tatsuyuki Maeda and Jun Sano. Coming fresh off of doing the soundtrack for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I think this is a great follow-up to Jun Sano's previous work. The music is so damn catchy, and a lot of these tracks would be remixed for Sonic Adventure's soundtrack. The Saturn version of this game was composed by Richard Jacques. The music in that port is a bit more atmospheric and kinda forgettable, to be honest. It's decent, but the Genesis version definitely has the better soundtrack. But I will say, I love Richard's rendition of the special stage music, and I think the Saturn version of the Public Panic Act 2 theme is criminally underrated. Due to contract disputes, by that I mean Jay complaining, I'm not gonna play a sample of that level's music, but seriously, go listen to it. It's brilliant. Back to the Genesis version, it's pretty, I guess. Like I said earlier, there's nothing else to talk about. This game is really uninteresting, and I'm really confused as to why I even own it. I think the biggest complaint I have about this game is that, well, it's boring. For Sonic's first 3D video game, it's really boring. I really think the main thing that kills it is having to collect birds over and over again. Like, was this really the best idea that the game designers had? I mean, I guess I should do a rundown of the levels. Green Grove is just a bland Green Hill Zone. Almost every level in this game is pretty bland. All of them use the same checkerboard pattern on the ground and it all sort of blends in together. You get progressively tired just by looking at the game. Oh, and there are these weird Sonic heads that are floating around in levels, and I have no idea what you're supposed to do after you collect them. At first I thought they were extra lives, but since the lives are still in television boxes, I'm gonna assume these heads are supposed to be continues. Pretty weird that they put them in the levels. Rusty Ruin is gray and brown all over. I love how the game designers must have known that the platforming was going to be shit because there's a goddamn spring that you could use to jump over most of them. You could even spin dash through them. Yeah, the spin dash is back and it's dedicated to 1 or 2 buttons depending on what option you chose in the options menu. To use the spin dash, all you have to do is just hold down the action button to charge it. Which is pretty different seeing how in previous games you had to mash the jump button repeatedly to charge it. If the spin dash is gonna go 3D, I think holding is a much better option than mashing. It keeps the pace flowing. Spring stay. Oh my god, too much color, too much color! This level's a fucking eyesore. Which is really weird because I've been able to handle the bursts of speed and colors in previous Sonic games, but this level? Good fuck, it's too much for me. Hey, here's something bad about this game. I know, shocker. When you get hurt, the birds also get hurt. This means that they'll fly away from you and you'll have to pick them up again. Some of them actually try to fly away from you too. And with these wonky as fuck controls, it can be a pretty difficult time recollecting them again. I really hope the person who designed this game got a raise for this. Wait, did I say got a raise? I meant to say got castrated. With a razor. Diamond Dust is a breath of fresh air. This level looks really fucking good for a change. The ice physics are a bit irritating, but I do like how when you kill a snowman badnik, the flicky's stuck in a block of ice. That's right, freeze to death you little shithead. Volcano Valley. This level fucking sucks! Unless you have the fire shield, then things become a little less suicidal to play. The boss fight in this level is also completely unfair. I mean, all the boss fights with Eggman are pretty easy, with the only obstacle being the shit camera angle. But the boss in Volcano Valley can really fuck you over. You can never see where you're gonna jump at so easily, and you're given so little rings to collect in order to survive. You'd have to be extremely lucky to make it this far in the game, with all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and not get a game over at this boss. Gene Gadget. To be honest, I actually completely forgot that this level existed. I recorded all the footage I needed for this game about 2 months ago, and I remember when I did that, I had an extremely negative attitude towards this game, especially this level. I wonder why. This level has tons of badniks everywhere and a lot of static shocks on the ground. There are these segments that you could use an elevator or something to travel to different parts of the level. This would be pretty memorable if I wasn't so dumbfounded by it. It's just 3D eye candy for the sake of being 3D eye candy. Eye candy the level, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I think that should be given to Spring Stadium, or, you know what? Eye candy the video game. That's all Sonic 3D Blast is. Aw shit, it's Eggman. Oh fuck! I'm out of lives! Well, I guess I'll use one of the continues I collected in the levels. What? Sega? What's going on? Traveler's Tales? It's the opening of the game. Wait. No. 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 The game sent me back to the main menu. All that progress, all that effort. I gotta start from the beginning. I gotta start from the beginning. I gotta restart. I gotta restart. I see why I completely forgot about Gene Gadget. Because I wanted to forget about it! This isn't fair! Why the fuck would you take away the save feature and not give me any continues? That's not fucking fair! How is this supposed to be fun? What were the point of those Sonic heads? Just to look pretty? Great. Now I have to look up a cheat code just to see the rest of this game. I'm not even gonna bother recollecting the Chaos Emeralds because they don't do shit! Okay, so there is a level select code. At the start menu, all you have to press is B, A, right, A, C, up, down, and then A. Then start the game and you'll be at the stage select. Puppet Panic, the final zone in this game, and it's just as bland as ever. It's also just as difficult as ever. I mean, I guess it's kind of excusable here since it's the final level, but that doesn't make it any better. Oh great, another game over. B, A, right, A, C, up, down, A. Okay, Act 2. Wait, no birds? Yes! God damn it! Eggman. Wait, what am I doing? What does this game want me to do? How the fuck do I beat him? Fuck! Fuck this, I'm going to the final boss. Let's just end this shit already. The final boss involves Eggman using several different machines to stop Sonic. It's understandably difficult and thankfully we're given enough room to breathe in this level. The music during this boss is also pretty amazing. But for the love of God, I can't beat this fucking boss. I just can't. Even if you beat Eggman's 5th and final form, the boss just loops. Fuck that! Why can't this boss just end after I beat the final form? Fuck this camera and fuck these controls. I fucking hate this game. Oh great, a 3rd game over on the final boss. That's like 12 lives costed, right? Well, screw that. Here's the ending of the game I took from someone else's YouTube channel. I'm not even bothering to beat this game. It's not fucking worth it. Sonic 3D Blast is just not worth the time to play. It can get very exhausting to play after a while, and while I think the soundtrack is amazing, I can't help but feel sleepy when I look at this game. It's so boring, and I think Some Call Me Johnny said it best in his Echo the Dolphin review. It's really difficult to describe a boring game. There's just so much you can say about it to the point where it gets repetitive. Hey, just like this game's structure and level design. It's not terrible, but it's not even average. It's just not good. It's pretty bad. 4 out of 10. Don't bother. Pretty ironic that I just spent the last review praising the hell out of a Sonic game. Now I just did a review where I hate on a Sonic game. I guess the sloppy pattern of the Sonic franchise has finally begun. I guess this also means I'm done with all the Genesis games that are in the main series. It's pretty sad. Well, I guess come back next time on Cooper's Perspective when I review the first actual 3D Sonic game that got developed in the late 90s, which is... Cooper. What?
Cooper.
Oh my fucking god, who's talking?
Behind you.
What?
Yes, it is I, the Tails doll, creepypasta extraordinaire.
Yeah, and a very crappy creepypasta too. You know, you're not that terrifying in person.
Silence, or I'll consume your soul.
My point exactly.
Oh, fuck you.
What are you even doing here? Shouldn't you be bothering Some Call Me Johnny or something?
Yes, but Johnny moved and I don't know where he went.
Yeah, good point.
Cooper, you are a terrible and unreliable game reviewer. Sure, you posted a 40-minute review of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yes, you made a 30-minute review of Sonic CD, plus the first 2 Sonic games got up to 20 minutes long. Clearly, these games mean an awful lot to you and you want to get your pointless perspective out of the way for the whole world to sadly see. After I went through your schedule for these games, I saw that you were excluding 2 games. Actually, 2 games that make up 1. The polar opposite of Sonic 3 and Knuckles as you like to think of it. I am here to make sure you don't plan on skipping over it and hoping nobody will notice. Do you really take your 5 fans for fools? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Now, you will review that game, and you will not skip it. And don't act stupid. You know what game I'm talking about.
No,
You must.
I'm not reviewing Sonic 4. I hate that game. I hate how boring and uninspired it is. And it serves no purpose, especially after Sonic Mania got announced.
Okay, fair point. But I'm not gonna let you off that easy. What I'm going to do is instead make a deal with you. You must replace your Sonic 4 review with another Sonic game.
Okay, anything. I'll review anything you want me to look at. Sonic Gems Collection? You want me to review a compilation?
No, you must review one of the games on said collection.
But I already reviewed Sonic CD, and Sonic the Fighters doesn't have that much to talk about, and... Are you fucking kidding me?
That's right, you must review my debut video game.
You want me to replace Sonic 4 with Sonic R?
Correct, and since you're reviewing these games in chronological order, you will review this before you get to Sonic Adventure.
But I wanted to review Sonic Adventure next. I love that game.
Yeah, but Sonic Adventure is a game you really like, and since you're stalling with Sonic R, that could give you more time to write that review. So, do we have a deal?
Alright.
You also have to review Shadow the Hedgehog.
What?
Sonic 4 had 2 episodes, but you can't combine both of them, so it technically still counts as 2 games. Ergo, 2 Sonic reviews from you to replace Sonic 4.
But Shadow the Hedgehog is just as boring and uninspired as Sonic 4, for completely different reasons, but this isn't fair!
Well, too bad. We were shaking on it when I said it. See you in the next review. Ha 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 ha!